Make sure that
Before
stitching is
sunrise,
tight.
Moscow
It will be.
stands frozen in breath and
This
shadow.
felt is good
A
and
pale
thick.
winter blue sky hangs above wooden rooftops.
Ashes
Faint
raked
chimney
from
smoke
oven
drifts
mouths,
slowly,
metal
pressed flat by
scraping
cold
against
air.
brick.
Adult men walk along packed earth streets dusted with snow, their breath rising in clouds. Wind moves lightly, footsteps crunch and fade.
This one
Beyond
feels a
the
bit
houses,
loose.
the outer walls of the
see.
Kremlin emerge at
Yeah, we
first
should
light.
retie that.
Frost clings to stone blocks. Towers loom overhead as men pass beneath in silence. Crows call from unseen perches. In narrow lanes lined with log houses, heavy gates are unlatched. Wood creaks sharply in the cold. Courtyards open to stacks of firewood. Axes rise and fall as logs are split, each strike echoing clean and hard. At a public well, a wooden cover is lifted. A bucket descends by rope. Ice crystals ring faintly as water is drawn up. The morning market begins to form. Coarse cloth is spread over stalls set on snow-dusted ground. Grain sacks are opened. Wooden scoops measure kernels carefully. Fish are laid on boards, scales catching the cold light as firmness is checked by hand. Inside a
Almost done
bakery,
for the day,
rye
huh?
loaves
Just a
slide
few more
onto
to
hot
go.
stone. Heat hisses softly against the winter air. Ashes are raked from the oven mouth, metal scraping against brick. Outside, a forge glows against snow. A horseshoe is shaped with steady blows.
The new cathedral will
Sparks
be our
snap and
finest work
scatter.
yet.
The hot
Indeed.
iron plunges into a trough.
Every stone must
Steam
be
billows
perfect.
briefly, then vanishes. In a carpentry shed, pine beams are chiseled into joint. Curls of wood fall to the floor. Snow is brushed from beams
The weight
before
is
fitting,
exact, sir.
gloves thudding
Shall I
softly.
bag these spices for you?
Near
Yes,
the
please.
wall, masons tap
And add a
chisels
measure
into
of those
stone.
lentils too.
The sound is granular and precise. Fresh blocks are aligned with chalk marks. Breath fogs the air. Leather hides are stretched across frames.
do it.
Pegs are tightened
good, mate.
evenly. At a shoemaker's bench, thick felt-lined soles are stitched, owls flashing briefly. A hand sled loaded with crates is pulled along an icy track. Near a gate, a horse's harness is adjusted. Leather creaks. A warm snort breaks the quiet.
Harness straps
Warehouses
tightened,
open
buckle
beneath
clack
snow-dusted
sharp
arches.
and cold.
Sacks are carried inside. In the dim storehouse, barrels are stacked methodically beneath slit windows. At a ledger desk, a clerk writes tallies with a quill. Paper rasps softly. Ink is warmed by candle and stirred slowly to flow. In an administrative courtyard, sealed packets are exchanged without words. A messenger hands over parchment. Heads nod once. A street cleaner drags a birch broom across frozen dirt, the sweep scratching sharply. At the city gate, a guard stands still as men pass through. Beyond the walls, pack animals move along snow-rutted roads. At a roadside stop, goods are weighed on an iron balance. Stones are fitted into a low wall with gloved hands. Men rest briefly at a trough, drinking carefully from metal cups. A tavern door opens. Smoke-blackened logs frame the entrance. Men stand outside holding cups, voices low. Inside, warmth gathers around a fire. Men sit apart, listening to the crackle. A lantern wick is trimmed short by gloved fingers. The lantern lights. An amber glow spreads across log walls. Afternoon shadows lengthen. The sun sinks behind spires, an orange band catching frost on roofs. Chimney smoke flattens again under still air. Night settles. A lantern lights a lane. Snow crunches under steady steps.
Aye, that
Ice
it has.
reflects a trembling glow.
Another
A
pint, then?
watchman pauses, lifting his lantern to scan a corner. Before dawn, unloading resumes. Crates are carried across ice near a store. In a shed, rope harnesses are repaired by feel alone. Wooden steps dusted with snow are climbed carefully. From a small rise, Moscow spreads outward, roofs and cupolas under a low haze. Tools are sharpened on a stone wheel. Sparks hiss and fade. Logs are split cleanly. In a candle workshop, wicks are dipped into wax. Steam rises faintly. Rows of candles cool on boards as wood contracts. In a stable, a horse's coat is brushed. Warm breath steams the air.
We should hurry
Harness
before the
straps
market
tighten.
closes. Agreed,
Buckles
I need
clack
to sell
sharply.
these hides today.
Light snow begins. Flakes stipple dark coats. Snow is swept into grooves along the street edge. Men step carefully across icy patches, boots scraping. Slush is cleared from drain channels. A pulley lifts a sack to a loft. Rope moves slowly through steady hands. A guard watches a narrow passage in silence. In a printing room, inked blocks press against paper with a steady thump. Fresh sheets hang to dry, edges stiffening quickly. At a merchant's table, furs are tested for thickness. Coins are counted deliberately, clicks crisp. A crate lid is pried open and contents examined by touch.
Transcription.
Near
This
the
year's
road,
harvest
a
looks
traveler
good.
steadies a
Indeed,
compass needle
best
against
we've
the
had in a
wind.
while.
Pack animals line up. Loads are balanced squarely. Ropes loosen in sequence, coordinated by glance. A group departs the gate at dawn. Sled runners whisper over snow. The street empties. Wind lifts powdery flakes, then lets them fall. Repairs resume. Hammer taps ring clear. Barrels are stacked, hoops aligned precisely. Market stalls are dismantled. Planks thud onto sleds. Goods are loaded. Runners creak into wait. Twilight returns. Lanterns glow against blue snow. Reflections tremble in icy ruts. Late night quiet settles, broken only by a distant hoofbeat. Before sunrise again, frost thickens on rooftops. First light touches domes
Here
and
is the
towers.
message you requested.
Doors open. Men emerge. Breath clouds form. Fresh produce arrives by sled. Tools are laid out and selected. Sacks are pressed and sealed in final inventory. Wind shifts smoke and snow plumes. An old wooden door opens inward. Warm air spills out. A replacement beam is fitted into a wall slot. Lanterns are extinguished as daylight strengthens. In a final wide view, Moscow stands as it did in the 1700s. Snow-laced streets, wooden houses, stone walls and towers, smoke and mist, while adult men move steadily through a timeless winter city.
Transcription.
This is
Careful now, it's
Moscow
slippery
before
out here.
sunrise,
Got it.
a city
Morning's
held
rough,
together
eh?
by cold, labor, and endurance.